Apple is already building the iPhone 18 Pro, and no, that is not a typo, a time traveler leak, or Tim Cook accidentally hitting send too early. The iPhone 17 hasn't even finished its victory lap yet, and somehow Apple is already deep into production stages for a phone that's still more than a year away. And when Apple does something this early, this quietly, and this confidently, it usually means one thing: something big is coming and they don't want to mess it up. Because here's the part that sounds boring until you realize why it isn't. The iPhone 18 Pro, according to leaks, looks almost exactly like the iPhone 17 Pro. Same vibe, same premium slab of glass, same, yes, I paid too much for this energy. In fact, insiders say the visual difference between the iPhone 17 Pro and the iPhone 18 Pro might be the smallest design jump Apple has ever made, and that sounds disappointing until you understand Apple's real plan. Apple isn't changing what you see, they're changing what you don't under the display. That's where the magic is happening. And also where Apple has historically been extremely paranoid, extremely slow, and extremely allergic to mistakes. Multiple leaks now agree that the iPhone 18 Pro will move Face ID sensors under the display, not half under, not kind of hidden, fully under the screen, which means the dynamic island, that pill-shaped roommate we've all learned to tolerate, might finally start packing its bags. Instead of the island, the iPhone 18 Pro is expected to use a tiny punch-hole camera. Just a dot, no floating blob, no animated island tricks, just screen. And Apple isn't doing this because they're bored. They're doing this because the iPhone 18 Pro is basically a test run for something much bigger. The iPhone 20. Yes, Apple is already planning the phone that celebrates the 20th anniversary of the iPhone, and that device is expected to be a perfectly uninterrupted slab of glass. No notch, no island, no hole, just screen. And if that phone fails, it fails loudly, publicly, and on the most symbolic anniversary possible. So Apple is not gambling here. They're rehearsing. That's why early production matters. Moving Face ID under the display is not a cosmetic tweak. It's a nightmare. Light has to pass through the screen. Sensors have to stay accurate. Unlock speed can't drop. Security can't slip. And if even one of those things goes wrong, congratulations, you've just invented the world's most expensive frustration rectangle. Apple learned the hard way recently that rushing things is not cute. Over the past year, software updates have been, let's say, adventurous. iPadOS 18 bricked brand new M4 iPads like it was stress testing Apple Care. Apple Intelligence showed up late, tripped over its shoes, and then disappeared behind the couch. Even the iPhone 17 Pro redesign, which was supposed to improve cellular reception, somehow made it worse at first, which is impressive in a how did we do that kind of way. So when you see Apple entering mass production early for the iPhone 18 Pro, this is in confidence. This is Apple saying, we are not doing that again. Now, while the front is getting cleaner, the back might be getting caffeinated. Yes, really, one of the rumored new iPhone 18 Pro colors is described as coffee. A brown iPhone, which sounds like something your dad would buy with a leather case and a belt clip, but apparently this version may feature a subtle, transparent glass finish. So instead of muddy brown, think luxury espresso machine. Hopefully, if Apple nails it, it's iconic. If they miss, the internet will be absolutely ruthless. Purple and burgundy are also rumored, which honestly feel much safer, but I'm weirdly rooting for coffee. If Apple is going to do something questionable, at least do it confidently. Now let's talk cameras, because this is where Apple might actually make photographers stop rolling their eyes. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is rumored to feature a variable aperture camera. That means the lens can physically adjust how much light enters the sensor, like a real camera. More light when it's dark, more depth control when you want background blur that doesn't look like it was cut out with safety scissors. Other phones have tried this, some succeeded, some absolutely did not, but Apple has been suspiciously patient, which usually means they think they can do it properly. Faster apertures on telephoto lenses are also rumored, which would massively help low light zoom shots, and the selfie camera across most iPhone 18 models is expected to jump to 24 megapixels. Better selfies, better video calls, fewer excuses. Inside the phone, the iPhone 18 lineup is expected to run on Apple's A20 chip. And this is not just another numbers upgrade. The A20 is rumored to use a new wafer-level multi-chip module design, which basically means the RAM is integrated directly with the CPU, GPU, and neural engine. Everything is closer together, faster, more efficient, less heat, better battery life. This is the kind of boring sounding change that actually makes your phone feel better every single day. Connectivity might also get a serious boost. Apple's next-gen C2 modem is expected, which should improve wireless performance, and there's even talk of expanded satellite connectivity, not just emergency SOS, actual satellite communication, which means your iPhone might work in places where your excuses currently don't. And then there's the launch strategy, which might be the most quietly radical change of all. According to multiple reports, Apple may split the iPhone 18 release. The Pro and Pro Max models could launch in fall 2026, possibly alongside a foldable iPhone, while the base iPhone 18 and other models arrive months later in early 2027. That tells us everything. The Pro models are no longer just nicer iPhones. They're Apple's technology playground, the proving ground, the phones where Apple takes risks first and perfects them before everyone else gets the leftovers. So, no, the iPhone 18 Pro isn't boring. It's patient, it's strategic, it's Apple laying the groundwork for the biggest design shift in over a decade without screaming about it on a billboard. Now, I genuinely want to know this because people are already arguing about it. Would you rather Apple redesign the iPhone every year just to keep things visually exciting? Or are you okay with phones looking the same if it means massive upgrades under the hood? Drop your take in the comments because this is one of those there is no correct answer debates. If this video helped you actually understand what Apple is doing instead of just reading leaks with no context, hit like. And if you want to stay ahead of where iPhones are actually going, not just what they look like next year, subscribe, because the future iPhone doesn't need to look different. It just needs to work perfectly. See you next video. Peace out.